What is good, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. The movie I'm reviewing today is currently available for streaming on HBO Max, although I do believe on Christmas Day it is streaming all day long on either TBS or TNT. There's going to be some spoilers in the video, but this is a movie that came out in 1983. It is a Christmas classic. It's on ad nauseum on Christmas, so I'm assuming most people have seen it. If not, my spoilers won't even really ruin it. A Christmas Story is directed by Bob Clark and stars Peter Billingsley. And although it was filmed in 1983, it takes place in what I believe to be the 40s or 50s in Ohio in the Midwest. And you are taken inside the mind of Ralphie. Ralphie is the oldest of two brothers. Now he's only probably about 9 or 10 years old. Little boy, has a little brother, and has the classic family of that time. Dad works, complains about everything. And his life is his car, his job, and his family. Mom is the rule maker at home. She kind of knows everything that's happening, and she can kind of get you in trouble or get you out of trouble, which she does both in this movie. Now, this movie uses something I'm not really a big fan of in movies. However, when it's done right, it works, and that is narration. Because what's happening throughout the movie is it's all leading up to Christmas. I believe it has to be like at least 2 weeks before Christmas when it starts. It never really says. But you're like 2 weeks leading up to Christmas. So you're going all these places with Ralphie. You're going to school. You're avoiding the bully. You're playing pranks on your friends. You're trying to kiss your teachers behind. You're trying to kiss your parents behind. You're going to see Santa. You're going to the parade that you don't want to go to. You're doing all that stuff. But the only thing that's really in your mind is the Christmas gift that you want. And for Ralphie, it's the Red Ryder BB gun. That's all he can think about. He's dropping hints to his parents. He's dropping hints to his teacher. He does stuff with his friends, but that's really all he's thinking about. And just me when I was a kid, and I'm going to talk about my favorite Christmas gift at the end of the video, but that's all you're thinking about. That's all I want is Christmas morning. That's the only thing in your mind. And it's such a beautiful thing when, as an adult, we're tainted and we have all these other stresses of life. And it's weird, like when you're a kid, it takes forever to get to Christmas or your birthday. But when you're an adult, these things just come like that. But for him, it feels like an eternity. And although it's shot in 1983, it feels like the time. The color grading is done in such a way where it feels like that era. You feel that old-fashioned family environment, the old school environment, the way they used to prank, all that stuff. And even on Christmas, up to Christmas morning, you're still feeling that. And the narration just puts you in his mind, and it just reminds you that's all he's thinking about. He's constantly thinking about that. And I like this, when narration's done like this, when you're getting taken inside the head of the character, I really like it. My other favorite, just side note, my other favorite narration in a movie is that of Goodfellas. So just to give you an example, it rarely works. I think it's used as a crutch, but in here it works perfectly because you want to know what the character's thinking. All these things are going on, but what is he really thinking about? And Christmas morning comes around, all the gifts get laid out, and he gets that stupid pink bunny costume, and he's just so disappointed. One, he has to wear this stupid costume, and secondly, in his mind, he's like, I put all that energy, time, thoughts into getting this Red Ryder BB gun, and I didn't get it. But of course, as all good parents do, they hide the gift somewhere else, and they always save the best for last. Thank you to those good parents. And it's a very wholesome movie. It's a very warm movie. Now I'm gonna go over things I like. Now there is one glaring negative that I cannot avoid, and I will talk about, but we're gonna talk about the fun stuff first. So I love the look of the movie. I like a movie that, again, just like now, if a movie is filmed in 2021, if you can make it feel like the 80s or wherever it takes place, I always like that. And this movie feels like it takes place in the 40s or 50s, that time. Like it feels like a Norman Rockwell painting almost. It's very of that time. And all the stuff that he does. My favorite scene is with the bully. There's just so many little good things about this scene. So Ralphie's just a quiet little kid. He's got his friends, he's got his crew. They hang out, they talk about this, about that, talking about Christmas. And they always have to avoid this bully. And then one day, Ralphie is just having a bad day, and then the bully just is laying into him, and you can see him boiling. And I know the feeling. And then he just snaps and starts wailing on the bully, and the bully gets exposed, and he's finished. That's the end of his reputation, and Ralphie did that. He's like, Ralphie's just letting out all his anger, his frustration, probably partially to do with the Christmas season. And, you know, everything feels like he's going wrong, like he's not going to get his gift. And he just wails on the bully. My favorite little part of this movie, of that scene actually, is while Ralphie's doing this, his glasses get knocked off. Now, only kids with glasses will really understand this. Like when you're out either playing and just out and about, your glasses are very important, because if your glasses get broken, you are finished with your parents. My mom could deal with the ripped jeans. My mom could deal with some dirty clothes. But if those glasses broke, my mom was upset with me. My mom had a high tolerance level for me, but that would be one thing that's a deal, but the glasses get bent. So during that fight, his little brother just picks him up and holds him. It was a perfect touch, because you can tell either Bob Clark or somebody related to this movie knew that how important that is. It's such a little thing, and you have to be a kid that had glasses to know that. I also love, of course, the scene where the kid gets his tongue stuck to the pole. That's hilarious. And just the daring, and not what happened now. So it just goes to show that peer pressure, all this stuff, is the same. And of course, it's the same of just fathoming and wanting your Christmas gift. All the roles in the movie are done really well. The father feels like a father. His little brother feels like a little brother. He doesn't want to eat. His mom wraps him up in that stupid suit. I got wrapped up in one of those. Not to that degree. I could literally move, but I was still very immobile. I remember mine was like a teal green. I hated wearing that thing. But my mom would make me, the price I was going to pay, if I was going to go outside and have snowball fights and play with my friends, you're not going to be sick, because guess what? If you're sick, I got to take off of work. And as an adult, I understand that. I get totally why the mom wrapped him up in that, because it's going to cause other problems if he gets sick. So it's weird watching it as an adult. And I did rewatch it, even though I've seen the movie, you know, every Christmas time. But again, so many little good scenes. The Santa scene, going to the department store. You know, you're at the parade. I want to see Santa. He's my go-to to get this gift. You guys aren't helping me. I'm dropping these hints. I don't think anybody's hearing me. I need to go right to the connection. Santa Claus. And of course, Christmas comes around and Christmas dinner is there, and the dogs come in there and eat everything. Ralphie got his gift. He's so excited. He shoots his eye out. He does exactly what his parents said he would do. The dogs eat all the turkey, and they go out for Christmas dinner at a Chinese restaurant, which leads me to my one glaring negative. Now, this is a really good movie. It's wholesome, it's fun, it has a family feel, and it just didn't stick the landing. And they didn't need to do this. Okay, so the turkey gets eaten, they go out to a Chinese restaurant, because the Chinese restaurant is the only place that's open. I have no problem with that. That's fine. I have no problem with the fact that they're eating duck on Christmas. I think that's a nice little touch. However, why do you have the Chinese workers in there singing? It is a blatant racist scene in this, their accent, and mixing R's for L's and vice versa. It was not needed, and it's just one of those things that you didn't need to put in there, but you could get away with back then. And like I said, I'm not Mr. Politically Correct. I normally am fairly open-minded, but when it's glaring, it's really bad. And it's just like, come on, why did you have to do that, Bob Clark? You didn't have to do that. Even when I was younger, I always noticed, I was like, why are they they're making fun of the Chinese people, the Chinese restaurant employees. Like, why are you doing that? But yeah, I have to be honest, it is what it is. I know people that love the movie will let it off the hook, but if you're someone who's gonna be politically correct in one way, you gotta play it straight across the board. It is what it is. It was unnecessary. You could have had them bring out the duck. You could have had them go to the Chinese restaurant, and it all works. Yeah, that's it. But overall, it's still a very fun movie. But just that, I hate when those things happen at the end of a movie. That's always a frustrating point for me. Just quickly bring it back up light. My favorite Christmas gift of all time was my Nintendo 64. I remember when Nintendo 64 came out. I'm not a gamer now, not by any stretch. Once you had to press 6 buttons to move right, I was like, yeah, you need to go A, B, right trigger, to just do a simple movement or an action. But back in the day, the Nintendo 64, you just press a couple buttons, you get the job done. I remember leading up to Christmas, that's all I could think about. All I was thinking about was that N64. I was like, oh man, I hope I get that. And thankfully, Santa brought it for me. And it was the last gift I got at my house. So Christmas morning at my house when I was a kid back in the day, my favorite breakfast, and my mom would usually do this on Sundays, but definitely she would make it even extra on Christmas, was cinnamon rolls. I woke up and I could smell those Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, the smell of it just radiating throughout the house. I went downstairs, opened up all my gifts, opened up the last one, and I got the N64, but then like, as soon as I get it and I open it, I'm excited about it, I take it out, I hook it up. My mom's like, oh, you know we gotta go over to your grandfather's house in like 20 minutes. I'm like, no, we don't. I want to stay here. But, you know, I went over his house. We had a great Christmas dinner, all that. But as a kid, you're just like, listen, I want to enjoy this gift. Imagine being like, hey, here's this bike. Here's this car. Oh, yeah, but we're going to have to wait a little while before you can drive it. But it just, this movie does take me back to that time and just thinking about that. And just that, you know, all the stresses of life as an adult don't really matter, you know, when you're a kid. The one stress of your life, it's so minor, but it's so everything, you know. And I love my N64. I mean, and then when I got home, of course, I had Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, GoldenEye. I had Ken Griffey Baseball. It was so much fun. I still have my N64. I don't know if it still works, but I still have. I'm kind of a minimalist, so I don't keep a lot of things around that don't hold value and I don't use. But that has emotional value. That's my favorite Christmas gift of all time. That's why I've kept it all these years. And yeah, so this movie always takes me back to that time of just, you know, just when nothing else mattered but that Christmas gift. And part of me misses it, but part of me realizes it's a little bit, you know, it's part of growing up. You got to let go of your childhood. That is a part of growing up. We have to let go of our youth. But guys, let me know your favorite Christmas gift when you were a kid, growing up. What did you look forward to? What was the one thing you wanted? And did you get it? Some kids don't even get it. I was very lucky that Santa, thank you Santa, brought it to me that year. I greatly appreciated that gift, and I still have it to this day, and it's still, those memories still hold true. But guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate your time. Y'all take care, be well, and have a great rest of your day and holiday season leading up to Christmas.